if you took his name out of it and looked solely at what has happened, the policies and the things that have changed around the world and in our country over the first 6 months, how do you rate his presidency so far?
I wouldn't give it a good rating,
Why not?
Simply because, the least of us are still being impacted the worst. Like when you look at something like, the big, beautiful bill, that's something that, I'm going to benefit from because of the tax bracket that I'm in. But, there's going to be so many people that's hurt by that bill. And, anything that, takes away Medicaid from people and is going to put people in a worse financial situation than, they were previously in, I'm not for. And, he ran on that. Like, he ran on, the economy. He ran on saying that, grocery prices were going to be down. And,
That has happened.
No.
Inflation is trending down. And by the way, Medicaid.
No.
So because of this appearance on Fox News,
I think that traditional conservatives are going to take the Republican Party back. I think there's a political coup going on right now in the Republican Party that people aren't paying attention to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that this Epstein thing is going to be a way for traditional conservatives to take their party back. I really do. I think that they know this is the issue that has gotten the base riled up. The MAGA base isn't letting this issue go, and for the first time, they know they can, probably take their party back and not piss off the MAGA base. I think they're going to do that.
and a theory, just a theory, that Charlemagne has, Trump lost it.
The very wonderful and talented Lara Trump, whose show was a big rating success, put racist sleazebag Charlemagne the God. Why is he allowed to use God when describing himself? Can anyone imagine the uproar would be if I used that nickname? He's a low IQ individual, has no idea what words are coming out of his mouth, and knows nothing about me or what I've done, just like ending 5 wars, including a 31-year bloodbath of the Republic between the Republic of the Congo and Rwanda, where 7 million people have died, and there was no end in sight. He didn't know that, or India and Pakistan, or wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, or closing the horrendous open border, or creating the greatest economy, where prices and inflation have come way down, where stupid and corrupt Joe Biden set the record for doing the worst job as president ever. But this dope, Charlemagne, would vote for Sleepy Joe or Kamala. Remember, 1 year ago our country was dead, and now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world, MAGA. And we could go through all the fact-checking. We could point out that actually the economy is not doing well under Donald Trump, which is why he fired the commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because there were brutal revisions to the jobs reports under Trump indicating that the labor market is in serious decline. Only 33,000 jobs created in the 2 months of May and June together. Stunning. We could look at how inflation is rising on Trump's watch.
We'll leave a link in the description box below because I highly recommend you not only check out his channel, but also check out his video in full because it was a pretty good breakdown. Nonetheless, Charlemagne responded.
Now, the personal insults, I don't care. He called me a sleazebag. I looked up the definition of sleazebag. Says it's a disgusting or despicable person. Depending on who you ask, that may apply to me. Okay, I personally prefer friendly neighborhood a-hole. Okay, he said I'm a low IQ individual. I don't know. I've never taken an IQ test. He said I have no idea what words are coming out of my mouth. Absolutely true. Okay, I've been surprising myself my whole life. Like, damn, I actually said that? Now, let's get to your claims. He said I don't know anything about him ending 5 wars. Mr. President, nobody knew that because it's not true. All right, there is zero evidence, nothing credible whatsoever that says President Trump played any role in ending the ongoing, keyword, ongoing conflict in the Eastern DRC or in Rwanda. Okay, America has not brokered any major peace deal between the DRC and Rwanda during Trump's second term. And wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, you did pull off a significant strike, but it didn't eliminate Iran's nuclear capabilities. Saying you wiped it out is an overstatement because according to reports, no enrichment facility was destroyed and Iran's nuclear threat is still very active.
This was a really good breakdown from Pondering Politics, and this was part of it.
So listen, President Trump, don't worry about Leonard. Okay, don't worry about Charlemagne the God. I know something I said hit a nerve and rattled you a little bit, but I don't want you rattled. I want you to end wars. Okay, I want you to keep the border secure. I want you to have the economy booming. I want booming. Okay, I want all these things to be true. I am an American. I don't care who's in the White House. I want America to succeed. Okay, believe it or not, I'm rooting for you, but I need you focused. And right now, you're not focused. Okay, we need you focused on 2 things: the economy and Epstein. All right, I need you to keep the promises of a great economy and the promises of transparency with the Epstein files. And I don't want us as a people to be distracted. Whenever you see Trump trying to deflect from what's important, keep him focused.
One man who had a pretty base take.
She's put in place to be that water carrier. And Donald was like, this is not supposed to work this way. I told you guys whenever something inappropriate comes up, you're supposed to change the subject and talk about black people. I told you that a long time ago. Remember Beyonce? This guy can't get his story straight. So of course, when someone brings up how he can't get his story straight, he loses his entire mind. Did you notice also, every time he has an issue with a black or brown person, they're racist? Just blatantly.
They're racist.
They're just racist. In a country that I heard from the same MAGA Republican Party, their racism doesn't exist. From the same MAGA Republican Party that said the Epstein files don't exist. Yet this guy still also said Bill Clinton's in it 28 times, which, I wouldn't argue with, but it doesn't exist. Somehow it doesn't exist. But also his last thing, his whole point about the traditional Republicans taking back over the party, hell no. Traditional Republicans ushered in this MAGA Republican Party. Traditional Republicans kept sowing doubt and fear and hatred for minorities than the other. Traditional Republicans hated on LGBTQ plus folks for years. Traditional Republicans set the stage for Donald Trump to be the guy who doesn't know how to use the dog whistles because he's a blatant effing racist. So he came in and said it more out loud than they were saying. And if those traditional Republicans were gonna fight back and take back over their party, maybe they should stop supporting him in this cover up of the Epstein situation. Yeah. Maybe they should stop supporting him in his tariff policy. Maybe they should stop supporting him in him never doing anything about these wars that he's saying he's gonna end. Maybe they should stop supporting him right now. Who are these traditional Republicans that are taking back their party when right now they're MAGA Republicans doing everything he told them to do?
That would be, of course, J.R. Jackson on The Damage Report with John Iadarola. Please go sub to them if you haven't already. So here was my read, and it aligns a lot with what JR said, and it's this. Trump is very sensitive, as we know. He is hypersensitive because anything or anyone that criticizes him, whether it is an article, a tweet, an ad, a person who has a platform, he despises it because he is thin-skinned. He does not view it as winning, per se. He views that as taking an L. So the only way to, in one way or another, redirect or misdirect is to punch back. The issue is that when you have, let's just say, an audience like you, or an audience like we have seen throughout various left-leaning media, right? We're able to decipher a Truth Social post rather easily. It falls very, very flat. Now, if you are completely disconnected from reality, if you don't pay attention to this stuff on the level that we do, even here on this channel, then you're probably gonna think what he said was awesome. And it just wasn't. It was lie after lie after lie. It's no surprise that when the Washington Post did a fact check, after its first 4 years, the number was like 40,000, somewhere in the vicinity. So as I'm watching this, all I'm seeing is Lara Trump, number one, was put in that position after running the RNC because she's deserving of it, to be placed in this position as a Fox News anchor because she's deserving of delivering the news on that channel. And as I'm watching this, all I'm thinking is, wow, you invited someone that you clearly have a relationship with. You have their contact information. You went on the Breakfast Club previously. I'm sure it was part of the deal, or you were in conversation with Charlamagne to do a one-on-one where you go on their show and they go on yours. And the fact that it was broadcast on Fox News without interruption from Lara Trump for a lot of this conversation, she is going to get an earful. And it's going to be from maybe Eric, but probably the president. Because if we know anything from that one piece, and I'm not saying go watch it, but that one piece that Ari Melber did where he was breaking down an Axios report that spotlighted executive time, all the dude watches is television. That's it. He just watches television and posts on Truth Social non-freaking stop, okay? When he's seeing this, internally, he's likely thinking, wait a minute, I put Lara Trump in that position to defend me, and She tried defending me, but it wasn't strong enough. She didn't look powerful. She looked weak because Charlemagne was talking about how Republicans take back the party from Trumpism. And he was talking about Epstein. Like, if you're Donald Trump, you're thinking, like, wait a minute, I gifted you this position. And you're not doing any of that. So it's this control of mass media that the right has, especially that guy in the Oval. And he saw this, probably live, and thought, what the heck am I doing putting her there when she can't even fight back for me? That's my read on it. And I know that he's pissed.